right. Osio. Wait a minute, let me get rid of the music. Yeah, Osio. Welcome to the Red Road East. I'm your host, Fierce Truth Seeker. Let's see. Uh Firebird can't come on. Oh wow. Okay, so we were supposed to be joined by Clan Mother Firebird. She's not gonna be able to join. Hopefully Strong Bear will still be able to join in. How's the audio? Y'all in YouTube land, let me know how the audio sounds. And if it's good, put a one in the chat. If not, then let me know what's going on with it. Is the audio good? Perfect. Okay. Great, great. Okay, I see we're joined with Strong Bear. She is in the lobby. All right. Hey, Strong Bear. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, hey OCO, how are you?
Lobby.
Good. I'm getting a feedback. Do you have two things?
Yeah,
Hey, Strong Bear.
yeah, I have the.
Unmute your mic.
Yeah, hey OCO, how are you?
Good. I'm getting a feedback.
You hear that feedback? If you
Things.
could mute one of your devices.
I have
Unmute your mic.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Okay. Yeah, so while she is fixing that audio issue, yeah, thank those who are joining us. We got, hey, what's up, cuz? We got Amanasa in the house. I'm doing great. Yeah, my day is fine. And how are you doing today, cousin? Yeah, so today is basically a continuation of the last discussion that we had. We're just building on this whole issue of Dawes roles, you know, being someone who is
We're just
living on the reservation
building on
and
this whole issue of Dawes roles.
still getting that feedback. Strong. I'm gonna mute your mic until you start talking.
Someone who is
Is that okay?
living on the reservation, building on.
So I'm just gonna mute her mic until she gets ready to start talking because we're getting a lot of feedback. And oh wow, Awanasa says her eyes are still burning from the Canadian fires. Yeah, shoot, out where I work at yesterday, it was the whole sky was red. That's how bad the air quality was. All you can see is like a dark, it wasn't red, it was a dark orange. Let's put it that way. Dark orange, almost red. And it was crazy, really crazy. And even today, I didn't go out today. I didn't go to work. I said, forget that. Because yesterday was so bad until I said, nah. But it's still, from what I hear, you can still smell the smoke in the air. You can still smell it. So, yeah. It was crazy. But anyway, yeah, we're continuing this discussion with the Dawes roles, living on a reservation, federal recognition. Do these things make you indigenous? Okay. And in reality, it does not. Okay. Because, number one, if you go back in time a couple of 100 years ago, if you remember, the Indian wars were fought for those who did not want to be. Oh, there she is. I see you, Strong Bear. She's in the lobby. Let me let her in.
The Indian wars were fought for.
I see you.
Those who did not
You're
want to.
on the show now. We're
Oh,
still
there she
getting
is.
that feedback though.
I see you, Strong
For
Bear.
some
Let
reason.
me
I don't know if it's on
check.
my end or if it's on your end.
The Indian wars were fought
Hold on one second.
for.
Hold on one second, Strong Bear.
I see you, Strong Bear. Let me
I don't know if it's Yeah, hold on. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. I don't hear the feedback anymore. So whatever you did, Strong Bear, it worked. I don't see your face on the screen anymore though.
I took off.
Yeah.
I took off the face.
Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I took off the
I don't
face.
hear the feedback anymore.
Oh, well,
Whatever you
the
did,
feedback is back now for some reason.
I don't know what it
I don't
is. I
see
have
your-
my
your-
phone
your
here, but
face on the
should I
screen
cut
anymore.
my cell phone off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay.
Cut my cell phone off?
Which one are you using to be on the show?
I'm using the. I have my phone here, but I'm using the computer. The computer. Yesterday I was
Okay,
just
yeah. So then you'll have to cut the phone. You have to cut one of them off because it causes feedback.
Well, you know something? I can't cut off my phone. You know something? Let me go out
Can
again.
you mute it?
You have to cut one of them off.
I have to cut one of them off. Okay, well then I'm just gonna go on with my phone then. Let me go off again.
Okay.
I'll cut off my phone. I'll go on with my phone.
Okay.
Let me mute.
Woo, man, that was crazy. Yeah, whenever you go on someone's show, whether it be radio or television or social media, you can't have two devices going because it causes a feedback. Okay, yeah, a lot of feedback. So, and we're opening up the panels for whoever wants to join in on this live. I don't have a premium plan. I have the basic free plan on StreamYard. So I have a limited amount of people that I could invite in. When we get to a certain point, then we can upgrade. But we're not there yet, you know. But yeah, that's how it goes. You can't have two devices going. But yeah, so as I was saying, if you go back, oh, here she is. All right, let's see. Okay, Strong Bear.
Yes,
All right.
I'm just on the phone.
Okay, so then you should be good.
Yeah.
So far, so good. So yeah, so Yeah, we got you in. And I was telling the audience that there's a big, a lot of people today, now it's chic to say that you live on a reservation, or, you are um, part of a, you know, federally recognized tribe, or, you have an ancestor on the Dawes rolls, things of that nature. And, you know, whether or not these things make you indigenous. And I was telling them, if you go back a few hundred, a couple hundred years to the time of the Indian Wars,
Mm-hmm.
this is what the Indian Wars were fought over. They fought over the fact that indigenous people, the real ones, you know, did not want to be relegated to reserved lands, you know,
Yes,
set
that's
aside
true.
by the government. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they were fighting over. Nowadays it's chic to say, you live on a reserve, and you wouldn't see Sitting Bull, if he was present today, you wouldn't see him bragging about, oh yes, I live on the res. you know, um, he'd be upset. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you wouldn't see Crazy Horse saying, yeah, y'all are not Indian. I live on the res. you know, I'm Indian. you know, you wouldn't see Geronimo talking about, yeah, only Indians are us over here on the res. He'd be ticked off. You know, so nowadays these things are chic, but because you can locate an ancestor on a roll, that is fine. But that doesn't mean that someone else who may not have been able to locate an ancestor on one of the rolls, that doesn't mean that they are not indigenous. If they know that they had indigenous ancestry in their family, all that means is that when the census enumerators came around, that particular ancestor didn't live in Indian territory. That's all that means. Okay. And I put this link to this video out on various to various people who have platforms, because you have a lot of people who believe that these things qualify you to be quote unquote indigenous, you know. And I have here something that I wanted to read from. And this is a book. This book is so old, I had in my archive till it's all falling apart. All the pages are coming out of the book. I had this book since the 90s, but it's called Exploring Your Cherokee Ancestry. Okay, to just let y'all know that I'm not just talking. Okay, and this is by Thomas G. Mooney. Okay, so you can see that I'm not just talking. Okay, and so I want to read from one of the pages. So basically, this particular book, it tells you how to go about uh, doing research to find ancestors on the rolls. Okay, And I'll read you the table of contents. It says, getting started, Cherokee rolls and other listings, the Dawes Commission and their records, Eastern Cherokee applications of the U.S. Court of Claims, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, selected Cherokee documents from the Indian Archives Division of the Oklahoma Historical Society, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, writing letters that get results, how to register as a member of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, locating unenrolled ancestors in Indian Territory. And it also has a list of maps here as well. Northwest Arkansas, 1817 to 1828, Trail of Tears, 1838 to 39, Indian Territory, 1895, Cherokee Nation, 1895, Plat Map of Allotments, T2, T24N, and R13E. Okay, and I'll let you see that here. Put it in the screen. Can y'all see that? Okay, so, and I want to read from one of the pages here, just to let y'all know that I'm not just talking over my head. And I tried to tell this information many, many years ago to some of these people that are in the quote unquote Aboriginal community, and they didn't believe me. And it's only until recently that they're discovering that I was right and exact and on point, you know, with this whole thing in terms of, you know, the Dawes rolls is not the end all and be all. Okay. And it doesn't determine whether or not you're indigenous. Okay. Let me see. I'm missing a page here. Wait, let me see. 1 second. I told you this book is falling apart. I'm missing one of the pages. One of the pages fell out somewhere. Oh, here it is here. Okay. As you can see, this book is so old. You see this? One of the pages, so I got to put this where it belongs. This goes here, 56, 57. Okay, there we go. That's all I like. Yeah, Strong Bear. I had this book from way back in it, from the time when we used to do research in the Huntington Free Library. Remember that, Strong Bear?
Yes, I was going to bring that up. I said that's look like one of those Huntington Library books. That
Yeah.
book is out of print, right?
I think it might still be in print, but this is not one of their books. But I was researching during that time, you know, this stuff, you know, and you know, that was a long time ago. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so it says here, locating unenrolled ancestors in Indian Territory. Not every person of Cherokee blood is on a Cherokee roll. Okay, so I hope that some of the people from the Aboriginal community are listening to this, and I hope that some of the Pan Africans are listening to this, because I know some of the Pan Africans are, you know, think that being on a roll and being on a reservation is the end all and be all when it comes to indigeneity, and that is not the case. So we're going directly to the horse's mouth with this right here. Okay, so it goes on to say, this is a difficult fact for many people to accept, especially after being told for a lifetime that grandpa was a full blood and that his grandmother walked the Trail of Tears. Failure to locate your ancestor on a Cherokee roll does not mean giving up on Indian records. Keep in mind that every person leaves some sort of evidence that they once appeared on the face of this earth. What you must do is look in the proper place. The official name of the Dawes roll is the final rolls of the five civilized tribes. It is final in every respect. Whatever the Dawes roll says, no matter how obvious the error, is fact. Therefore, unless a person appears on the Dawes roll, he cannot be considered a member of any of the five civilized tribes. An illustration of how strictly the roll is followed may be found in the example of two children of the same parents having different blood degrees. When such an obvious error cannot be changed, it is certainly futile to consider adding anyone. The most likely reason for two siblings having different blood degrees is the result of certain government policies. Minor children and restricted Indians, generally those of more than one half degree Indian blood, found themselves subject to having their financial affairs regulated by government agencies. Therefore, many enrollees sought to avoid these roles by understating their degree of blood. Another possibility is the social stigma attached to being Indian at that time. There is a definite possibility that your ancestor is on some other section of the Dawes roll. The commission did not knowingly allow persons of mixed Indian blood to enroll with more than one tribe. However, there are some dual enrollees. For example, a person of mixed Cherokee and Choctaw blood should only be on the rolls of one tribe. A friend of mine found her uncle on the Seminole section of the roll, even though all his siblings from the same parents are on the Cherokee roll. Apparently, the commission put him on the Seminole roll because of his marriage to a Seminole girl and residence in the Seminole Nation, despite not having a drop of Seminole blood. Several possibilities existed which might prevent a person of Indian blood from appearing on the Dawes roll. It was a requirement for the enrollee to physically reside in Indian territory at the time of the enrollment. This rule excluded many Cherokee residing in other states. Hold on one second. Residing in other states. Additionally, the enrollee had to submit proof of citizenship by citing a previous enrollment, generally the 1880 or 1896 rolls, which in turn meant he had to live in Indian territory at an earlier time. Some Cherokee most form I'm sorry, some Cherokee most form the conservative. They said form. They probably meant to say from. That's a typo. From the conservative Nighthawk Ketua, simply refused to participate in the enrollment and allotment procedures. Let me read that again. Some Cherokee, most from the conservative Nighthawk Ketua, simply refused to participate in the enrollment and allotment procedures. Okay? It is quite possible that your ancestor applied to the Dawes Commission and was denied. Over 250,000 people sought enrollment in one of the five civilized tribes, but the commission only approved slightly more than 101,000 applicants. Denied and rejected census cards existed for many of these individuals, but there is no known index. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Let me see something. Yep. So sorry to bust anyone's bubble. Okay. But that's the reality. Okay. It has this has nothing to do with whether or not you're indigenous, but there are different factors that play in to whether you whether or not you were able to locate an ancestor. If you're not able to locate an ancestor, then it could be for one of those various reasons, as I read, you know. But that doesn't mean, as they said in there, that doesn't mean you give up your search. But at the same time, you know, it's not necessarily a qualifier. You understand? It's not necessarily a qualifier, but you don't give up your search. I have different roles here. You know, I have the Baker role here. Okay, big book with a lot of names in there. Okay, I got the Gian Miller. You see how old this book is? This book is so old it's coming apart. This is the back page here, and I gotta, you know, but that's how long I had this stuff. Gian Miller rolls.
Yeah, I
Plus,
saw that book before. And
yeah,
do
of
you
the
have
eastern Cherokee, east and west of the Mississippi,
yeah.
1909. Yeah, what were you saying?
Yeah, because isn't that there's another book called Cherokees East of the Mississippi and Cherokees West of the Mississippi? Or is that the same book? Because
I
I
think it's
remember I
the same
seen
one.
a smaller book.
Or a smaller book. Yeah, there might be a smaller book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just for that. I saw
there's
that
others. There's others.
yeah, I
I
saw
just
that
can't
book
put my hands
before.
on them. Yeah, I just can't. I have them around here. I just can't put my hands on them right now.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But when you look at those books, it's like really crazy because if you look at the blood quantums, I don't even know how they even determine how can a person be 5/11 and I mean the blood quantums is like really crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and it's
I've
not.
looked through those books before,
Hmm. And it's
and
not.
uh-huh.
And it's not blood. It's not like they're doing a DNA test or something like that. They're going by their determination.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know, yeah. You were getting ready to say.
No, I mean I just think that is I'm well, I don't know. It's I mean it's a reference. It's not an
Mhm,
end all be all. It is
mm-mm,
a reference.
right.
Um I don't know. I know a person who ancestors is on I think the Hester roll. There's a Hester roll and then there's also isn't there a silver roll?
Oh, which role?
Silber, Silber. Maybe I have it wrong, but I believe it's a Hester and a silver roll.
Yeah, I
I
know
know
about.
there's a Baker roll.
Yeah, Baker. Hmm.
And wasn't there a Hester
The Baker,
roll
the Baker,
too?
the Baker is that's the first one that I put up.
Yeah, wasn't there a Hester roll too?
I believe so.
And a silver, I think it's I could be wrong, but I think it's Silber.
Mm, yeah, it sounds familiar. I don't
Different
have.
years
I
that
don't
they
have
would,
it. But,
yeah, different years that they were numerated. It's like the
mhm,
census,
exactly.
like the census.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
But
I know Dawes, I know Mr. Dawes came in and he did
hmm
the last roll for them. But You know, it's every, like you said, everyone just didn't choose to be numerated.
Exactly. It's just like today. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't fill out the census.
Yes, a lot of people don't.
A lot of people have no desire to be
Yeah.
fill out the census, and try to avoid it. It's nothing new under the sun. Same thing back then. A lot of people didn't
Ye-
trust government too.
yes, that's true.
They
Especially
didn't
the more traditional ones.
exactly as evidenced in that article that I mean that letter that I just.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Do you know of anyone that could trace that I mean that are my question to you, do you know anybody that is melanated that could trace their ancestors back to the like the reservation in North Carolina?
In North Carolina. Uh,
Yeah.
Let me see. Who do I know that?
I forgot the name of the you know the one towards Tennessee in
I think
Western,
I do. I think I do know. I think I do know.
because I don't know but soul.
I think yeah. I think I do know of someone melanated. Yeah, yeah.
But
But
it's
yeah,
interesting. I've
it's
been
it's a
there
lot of
too.
people who can, and there's a lot of people who cannot.
Most people I know, they really can't.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You know, and it doesn't mean that they're not indigenous. It just means that their ancestor wasn't present when the census enumerators came around, or that they weren't interested in um, being or in participating, or they might have even tried to be, but as the letter said, that they only accepted a certain amount.
That could be, it could have been a quota thing. And then
Hmm.
also you could have been depending on what you look like, your phenotype, you
Right.
could have, they may not have said, well, you're not Indian, you're colored. It might have
Exactly.
been one of those kind of numbers, because I know that for even my own family, going back to like my father's family in the 30s, they were listed as black. And then on another census, they were listed as colored.
Right. I've seen that. Yeah. I've seen that on the rolls. Yeah. You know,
So that is a big thing with that too, is
you see
how
them one year as Indian,
you would
then later on you'll
categorize.
see them as freedmen.
Yes, or either
Hmm.
freedmen. Yes.
With no Indian blood sometimes, or of mixed Indian blood. And
Yes, you see
sometimes they
them as
weren't even,
freedmen.
yeah, and sometimes they weren't mixed. We classified full bloods, you know, as
Yeah.
Negro and this, that, and the other. Yeah. So
But that's how they had the actor. What is his name? Cheaton. What's his name? Cheatham. What's his name? He when he was on Skip Gates' show, they
are you talking
did,
about Don Cheadle?
yeah, Cheeto. Yes, they said his
Mhm.
ancestors,
Chickasaw, I think.
Chickasaw. Yes, they were part of the Chickasaw Nation,
Hmm.
but they were under the category of freedmen.
Freed.
They were slaves. Well, the way he explained it, they were slaves.
Yeah,
And the
that's the
chick,
way
he
that
had no idea.
Skip Gates, that's the way that Skip Gates explained it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Gates explained it. He said that they were slaves and they marched with the
Mm-hmm.
Chickasaw. He said he didn't know anything about it.
Hmm. Now that doesn't mean that they weren't indigenous either.
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
That's just how they recorded.
Yeah, I know. But I thought that to be very interesting.
Hmm. Yes, indeed. Cousin Gates is a gatekeeper. You got that right.
Hmm.
You got that right. Exactly. Exactly.
Her
Yeah.
birth certificate says colored.
Says colored. Yeah.
My father's birth certificate says colored too,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So
my mother.
yeah, my grandfather's is put as colored. A lot of them are put down as colored. Yeah. Very true. And this has to go under that whole paper genocide too that was going
Oh
on.
yeah,
A lot of
but
reclassified.
yeah, but I remember Margarita telling me that a lot. I remember her telling me stories about when she was a little girl down in Alabama, and she said that when you go into town, the white people might ask you, like who you are, but you tell them that you are colored. I
Mm-hmm.
remember her telling me that story. She
Mm-hmm.
said, you tell them that they are colored. If any of them white folks ask you, what your nationality is, you tell them that you are colored.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the stories she told me when she said that. She told me that story a lot.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, and that happened on many occasions,
Because you
with
didn't want to get run off your land.
exactly. Exactly. Very true. Very true. Yeah, I remember we were doing a lot of this research back in the days, you know, when we
Yeah,
went to the
back in the
Huntington
90s.
Library, right up there on here up here in the Bronx, up there in that was what you call it,
Westchester
Westchester
Square.
Square. Hmm.
Yeah, Westchester Square. But I understand they closed that library, didn't they?
But they been closed that. Shoot, they closed that decades ago.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Hmm. Oh yeah, they been closed that. I was so mad. That
Yeah,
was
because
that
now,
was a spot.
yeah,
That was a spot.
yeah,
They had so many records in there, man. I used to be like a kid in a candy store in there.
we was in there for hours. But the
We
thing
were in there
about it
for hours.
is, they wouldn't allow you to take any of the books out, and this was before cell phones. So whatever you wanted to
Right.
copy, you had to pay a quarter for. So it could run. It could depend
Man,
on you.
I remember that, man. We used to pay a lot of money for that, and they ain't take no dimes either for them copies. I think no copies they were like a quarter for each
They
page.
were quarter each. Yeah, each
Yeah, you
page.
remember that, right?
Oh, I remember that because we took copies, and they had a lot of rare books in there.
Hmm.
They had a lot of rare books that was out of print.
Oh yeah,
A lot of I don't know where they sent those books to, but
I know where they sent. I'm not just not saying.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say on the air.
Yeah, because I don't know where they sent those books to, but it was a lot of out of print books they had in there. And we
Yeah,
would be in there for hours just looking.
hours.
Yeah, and the
We'd be there.
librarian
We'd
was
be
very
there
nice.
until
She used to help
she
us.
was very nice. Yeah, we'd be in there until they were closing. They give us that look. She was still nice, but you know that look when people ready to go home.
Yeah, she wanted to leave. She was sick of
Hmm.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been on this path for, like I tell people, for I just didn't get on this path.
Mm-mm,
I've been on this
mm-mm.
path for many years.
That's right. Yeah, we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, many years.
Hmm.
But what the thing is that you really have to, one thing that's good about the ancestry.com is that you meet a lot of people, and it can put the pieces of the puzzle together. Because what I find with us and our history is very fragmented.
Yep.
It's very fragmented, and you may know a piece of the puzzle, and you may have like a second or third cousin, or sometimes it'll be a
Mhm.
first cousin you don't know anything about, and they'll know another piece of the puzzle.
That's right. That's
And it's
right.
like you got to play like Rubik's cube, trying to put everything together.
Oh yeah, very true.
And especially if if your family if your family was free people of color, it's a lot easier. But if your family is what would you say, status of slaves, it could get much. You really can't go that far with that.
Exactly.
Maybe to 1850, baby. If you get past 1850, you're really doing good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I also want to let the people in chat know, for those who are kind enough to leave a donation, I'm leaving in the chat, where you can leave a donation via Cash App and or PayPal. And I'd like to give a special shout out and thanks to Mizak, who left a donation. Shout out to you, good brother. I appreciate it. And yeah, those who are moved to leave a donation, no amount is too small. You know, it's greatly appreciated. These things will go to improving the quality of the shows and also, helping us out to organize this parade. Do you want to, Strong Bear, tell them some of the challenges that oh, she faded off. We gotta wait for her to log back in. We lost Strong Bear. She will be back. Let's see. Yes, thank you, cousin. Please like the video when you come in the chat. And I went out to see at 42nd Street Library. Yeah, had the real history books locked up. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, these libraries. These libraries and these museums, you know. Yeah, they hide a lot. But yeah, I remember back in the days, me, Strong Bear, Bright Eyes, Teeny Bear, we'd be in that library for many hours, man, just digging in the crates, digging in the crates, you know. Those were the days, man. That was fun. I still got copies of stuff that was in the library, Strong Bear.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did a lot of good back then. I did a lot of good research on Walter Plecker, and stuff like
Oh, yeah. Our favorite registrar from the state
yeah.
of Virginia.
Long before any of these guys knew anything about Walter Plecker, I was doing the knowledge to that way back in the days, like 20 something years ago.
Yeah, he put a hurting on the Virginia Indians. I know that because I have one of the letters that he wrote, and basically he was saying that they were Indians, they were a bunch of mongrels. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, mixed up niggas, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
it was really really bad. It was really bad, and he did so much damage, even to this day, that there's no federal. I don't think there's any federal recognized tribes in Virginia that I know. I don't think there's any federally recognized tribes.
I think the Pamunkey are
The
now.
Pamunkey, maybe because that's Powhatan.
I think they just recently. I think they just recently got their recognition. Let me check. Just fact check on that.
Okay,
I remember correctly. Hold on. Let me see.
because that would make sense because Chief Powhatan was a Pamunkey. So that would make sense. But I know the Monacans, the Rappahannocks, who's some other ones there? They have state recognition.
Hmm.
The Chickahominies have state recognition.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Here it is. Here. Yeah. They are. At pamunkey.org. Um,
Yeah.
says here the United States Department of the Interior announced final determination to acknowledge the Pamunkey Indian tribe, petitioner number 323, as a federally recognized Indian tribe on July 2nd, 2015. Yeah, yeah.
So that's within the last what 8 years.
2015. Yeah.
Within the last 8 years, yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
Wow.
I remember when they got their recognition. Yeah.
Wow, that's heavy.
And we got K Stowe in the building. And if anybody that's in the chat wants to join in, just leave your email in the chat. Not in my email because I'm not checking my email right now. Leave your email in the chat and I'll send you the link if you want to join in. But yeah, K Stowe says there are about 6 to 7 now. Oh, okay.
I have a T-shirt that have all the. There was like over. I think I have a T-shirt when I went down to the Chickahominy powwow. I think those were the tribes that was under Powhatan. I'm not certain, but it
Mm,
had like 40 something tribes on there. Half the names I can't even pronounce.
mm. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
He was born in Hampton. Her aunt wasn't born far from Charles City.
Mm. Yeah. Five. Oh my goodness. Strong Bear. If you can tell the viewers some of the challenges that we're having, because I was telling them, if they would, anyone that's out there would like to, help and support.
Oh
Um,
yeah, our parade that's coming up October the 14th.
if you could let them know, what some of our challenges are.
Well, we're asking, we're asking those for donations. We need donations as far as water, food, like fruit, snacks, um, little like cookies and different things of that nature. We need volunteers. We more likely need volunteers for the day of the program because we're going to. I mean, this is it costs money to put on any kind of program, and even though it's a parade, I mean, we're coming out of our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have porta potties. We're gonna have some bathrooms this year. We didn't have that last
Didn't
year.
have that last year. If you wanted to go to the bathroom, you had to walk all the way down to like Whole Foods,
Yes.
McDonald's. Yeah.
The parade is going to be, we're going to have, we were in the park. They had, speakers, at 9 o'clock start the speakers, and we had an opening service. We're going to have a closing circle this year. We're planning on having a closing circle this year. We're having princess. We're going to have a princess. We have a grand marshal. We had that last year too. But
Mm-hmm.
we just want everyone to come out and in the spirit of brotherhood, and come and celebrate your indigenous heritage. And a day where we can, well, you should be proud every day to be indigenous, but a day that we can all come together and we can what's the word, fellowship, and just take pride in who we are, because other groups that come to America, they already have their parades.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own we have our own heroes.
Yep.
We're celebrating the people that were on this land, and most of all we're celebrating even the Lenape, because I don't hear anybody talk about the Lenape that much. And I didn't even know that the Lenape were the people that Peter Stuyvesant signed, so-called, bought Manhattan Island from.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the books that I wrote when I was a little girl, they were saying that, it was the Indians. They never said which group of Indians or native people that he actually contacted. I didn't find that out until I was good and grown.
Mm-hmm.
So, we want to honor them because, for us that live in New York, I mean, this is the financial capital. I mean,
Mhm.
this is the greatest city as far as that is concerned in the world. Everything happens downtown where they landed.
Exactly. That's true.
And I think I believe, I really believe, and I told Firebird this, that I believe that this parade is divinely inspired. I
Mhm.
mean, last year when I mean, you couldn't ask for a more perfect day as far as weather, as far as the fellowship, as far everyone was on one accord. We didn't have any problems, with people with disagreeable folks. I mean, everyone was just in a spirit of love.
Mhm.
And I mean, you couldn't, I mean, it was warm, and we're in October now, and it was warm. I mean, you could just wear a jacket. I mean, I had on a t-shirt during, before the sun went down and started getting a little chilly. But I
Mhm.
mean, I'm just asking everyone, and I've been passing the word even on my job and stuff, that if you have anything else to do, come in and hang out with us and have a fellowship with us.
Mhm.
Because it's a very spiritual thing. When we all get together, it's very spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Very.
very, very spiritual.
Oh yeah.
It was just a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And I told you in Firebird, I said this, I haven't been to something like that's been this good in years.
Yeah. A lot of people told us that too. I was like, wow. A lot of people who attended, and we had people attending from all over the Americas. I mean, not just North America. People from uh, South America, Central America. You know, um, all the way up. I mean, they came from
Yeah,
all over
because in those
New England
countries,
area.
even in those countries, the indigenous people, they're like second class citizens,
Hmm.
and they're fighting for their rights.
Yeah,
And even
yeah.
in other states, it's rough.
Hmm.
So I can see why people travel. I mean, we had those people come from all the way. They said they drove 33 hours to come from New Orleans. Remember the Mardi Gras Indians?
Yeah,
They said
yeah,
they drove
that,
33 hours.
yeah. The Mardi Gras were there. Hmm.
The Mardi Gras, some of them came.
That's right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
it was just beautiful. I mean,
Oh yeah, they rep
it was
hard.
just beautiful.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
it was just picture perfect. It
Mm.
was really it was so nice. And
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, I haven't been to anything like that in years.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people told me that, man. I said, wow, that's
In
a.
years.
Mm.
It was just the spirit and the cooperation, and just seemed like everyone was just like, everything just came together.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Everything
people
just
really
came
came.
together.
Yeah, people really came out and represented, man. I mean, like I said, from all over the country and from all over the Americas. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was really, really heavy, and this year is going to be even more because Firebird is really on every day. She's on it, and she's on Facebook, and she's promoting it, and meeting new people, and more people say they're gonna come. They're planning on attending.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
they're pl- they're planning on their so it's we need we need assistance.
Hmm.
It's since I've never done anything like this before, but it's a lot of work when you see these parades and you see these functions, a lot of these functions that are free in the park and stuff, and we go and we enjoy. It's a lot of work that goes into this.
Hmm.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
It's not something. It's a lot of logistical work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of logistical work.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. I agree with her. The ancestors were made proud. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I really believe that they were proud because I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel that a lot of our problems that we have is because our ancestors are not being properly honored.
true, true.
And I believe this is a lot of the problems that 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 we on this land and all these murders and all this kind of stuff that is going on because we're not dealing with the problems with the problem within us and the problem within our ancestors, and there's not enough healing going on,
True.
and it's especially depending on where you live, because unfortunately there's a lot of blood and war and strife that is tied to this land,
Mm-hmm.
and until we come together and raise our consciousness and come together to heal the land, you know, it's not gonna get any better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I remember that it's, something divine and spiritual and smiled upon by the ancestors, because I remember back in the days, this was back in the mid 90s,
Hmm.
myself and a group of other brothers and sisters had put on an indigenous function in Brooklyn.
Okay.
It's a big, big, big function. We had people from the indigenous community there. We had Moors there, and one of the elders that was there, he was someone who could see. He was a seer. He could see in the spirit.
Hmm.
And he came up to me and he told me, he said, "Brother, let me tell you, you brothers, y'all brought down," he said, "y'all brought down some heavy." He said, and I can imitate his voice. He said, "You brothers,
Hmm.
y'all brought down some heavy, heavy ancestral spirits." I say, "No, no, no. I could see them. Okay. I can see them. They're here." He said, "Y'all brought down some heavy, heavy ancestral spirits. And the Indians, they were black." And he said, "No, I want you to know that because I can see them." And I was like, wow. And I wasn't,
Wow.
at that time, I wasn't really deep, deep into it like that, like I am
Hmm.
now, but I was into it.
Yeah.
I was walking the red road, but I didn't have like the Moorish paradigm aspect of it,
Yes.
in terms of, um, these were melanated people, this, that, and the other, you know. Um, Even though I knew, I was coming more from the perspective of, well, they're all melanated because we all have a common ancestry in Africa, blah 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 blah. I was more from
Hmm.
that perspective. I was like, yeah, well, they were, but I wasn't, yeah, I wasn't like really deep into the whole Moorish thing back then.
Hmm.
He wasn't a Moor either. He was just a seer. He was someone who
Yeah, he could see
he
things.
could
I
see
understand.
spirits. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said we brought down the ancestors, and we did it on so-called Thanksgiving Day too.
Oh,
You
you
know,
did on. Oh, that's real heavy.
and we were
Oh
fasting.
yeah.
We ain't eat nothing, and you know,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, so that made it even more powerful. You
Oh
know,
yeah, because you turn down that plate, baby. You be serious. I know that much.
yeah. And he said, he could see them. He was like, "Yo, those ancestors were black." You know,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that really got me to really do more digging and more research. And yeah, it was,
Yeah. That's deep, and
yeah.
that's deep because what you learn and you grow. You learn and you grow. Because I could tell you, I'm a totally different person now than I was like when I first met you, um, 20 something years ago.
Mm,
Because you grow, you learn, the greatest school you go through is a school of life.
True, true.
And you learn, and you learn, you go, whatever paths, a lot of us go through the church and this and that until you find your path.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with, and particularly the problem, because see, white folks know how to call on their ancestors.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
the problem is that we don't really know the power that's within us. And not only that, we have to not only know the power that's within them, but within us, but also the power that our ancestors have, and being able to communicate and be able to connect with them.
mm-hmm.
And that comes from that. That's growth. You know what I mean? That is growth. I mean, I try to honor the ancestors and how I live, and and I realize that they paid a way heavier price than I ever paid.
Right, right.
You
Oh yeah.
know, and I
Mm,
just think that that's the reason why I wanted to help y'all with the parade, because I said that, you know, I first of all, I knew you guys, and it turned out so well. And
mm,
I said that, I said, well, if you need any help, I'll be there to help you guys, because I was thoroughly blessed. I'm not kidding. I was really blessed when I went. I was very much blessed.
mm.
And I know that it's going to be the same way this year. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to be bigger and better. Every year we want to make it bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
That's the
Mhm.
motto, bigger and better.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh
year
yeah.
is going to be bigger and even better, and will be more of a, and this would, I'm quite certain they have other things in other cities,
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many, like Chicago was, a lot of these cities were founded based upon the interactions of the natives.
Mm-hmm.
Cities that had been established.
Yeah.
The avenues that we go up had already been established.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
They
true.
were already trails.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that we think Europeans came and brought here, they didn't.
Exactly.
They
Very
built
true.
upon what was already here.
That's right. That's right. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah,
They built.
we're really trying to make this a parade that grows and grows and grows exponentially,
Yeah.
by year. Like I said, we have some challenges. Everything is coming out of our own pocket. We're not a 501c3. You know, um, we don't have anyone
Corporate
giving us anything.
funding.
Everything is coming out of our own pockets, and we don't even have it. We want to get we don't even have a hotel for Firebird to stay in when she comes.
Yes, because I would like for her to be able to come in on Friday, where she could rest somewhere near the parade, so it wouldn't, she wouldn't be out of her, place, put in a situation where she got to travel a long distance, somewhere near around, the where we, either where we line up, or where we end on 17th Street.
Yeah, she had to basically walk, get off of the bus last year and had to walk around for 2 hours, uh, to just to have, she didn't have anywhere to go, basically, before the parade, just pretty much walking around 2 hours before the parade, even not before the parade started, but before, the people actually started coming out, so that's a long time.
Well, when she came in, it was dark. See, by
Yeah,
that time,
exactly.
and New York is you know, it's really gotten so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but she came in the dark, and she had to
Yeah.
kind of wait until you know the sun came up.
Yep. Yep.
So you know you know that's important. That you know I'm really concerned about that because she shouldn't have to be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it really turned out. I mean, I was very pleased.
Wow.
I was very pleased.
Mm. Yeah, for anyone who just joined in, if y'all want to join in on the conversation, just leave your email in the chat, and we'd love to hear from you. And hopefully, we can see you all there at the parade this year. No matter where, even if you're not in New York, like I said, people were coming from all over the country and all over the Americas. You know, but eventually, we're gonna make it so that this is like a 3-day event eventually. You know.
Yeah, that would be nice. That
Hmm.
would be nice because, like for example, the Puerto Rican Day Parade, they usually have a concert.
Right.
That Friday, they usually have a concert, or
Hmm.
Saturday, either Friday or Saturday, they usually have a concert.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And they invite all the stars, the stars to it. So and I think they probably have like a breakfast. They have a whole weekend full of activities. It's not just the parade on Sunday. The parade on Sunday is the culmination of everything, of all the activities, but they have, functions going leading up to that.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what we want to eventually be able to do. You
Oh
know,
yeah, that takes time. That's
it's
years. I
time and
mean,
money that we
and
don't
money,
have.
and
Yeah.
it takes money, and it,
Mm,
and also years of planning because
of
I'm
planning.
quite certain when they started off, it was just probably a neighborhood thing, probably in Barrio,
Hmm.
in East Harlem.
Yeah.
I'm quite certain that that's how it started off,
Hmm. Yep.
or maybe in the Bronx or whatever. And and every year, you add to it,
Exactly. Exactly. That's how it goes.
and that's how you build. This
Hmm.
year will be bigger and better than last year.
Yep.
Now, the following year would be bigger and better than this year.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Again, I'd like to give a shout out and thanks to Mizak for the donation from the last show. Much appreciated. Matter of fact, type that in the chat.
Now, I have a question to ask you, Fierce.
Mm.
The book that the sister was talking about, yeah, on the last show, the what is it? The Cherokee Ridge? Wasn't it the Cherokee Ridge? The Cherokee Ridge? Something like the book was called something like that. The Cherokee Ridge, the
Uh,
Buffalo
she, she
Cherokee Buffalo Ridge, or something like that.
she mentioned a book. I don't have that book. I'm not familiar with that book. But she did mention a book last show. I would have to look at the episode again to get that for you.
Cause if I looked up the book, I believe the author's last name is Rice, and he's
Okay.
a doctor of education.
Hmm.
If I have this book, and one of the books well, they're not selling on Amazon. I guess it's out of print, and the other book is like $25.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I'm not. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that book. She mentioned it, but I'm not familiar with it. When I look at the video again, I'll I'll
Mhm.
document it and send it to you.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah. So we're not gonna stay too long. We both gotta get up early for work tomorrow. I just wanted to do a short video, a follow up from the last discussion because we weren't finished. So I did say we would go back live again today on, which is Thursday. But again, for those who want to leave a donation, this is where you can leave a donation. And I think Firebird was saying that the GoFundMe um, is is available as well. You have that information.
No, not. I don't know the page offhand for the GoFundMe, but I wanted to. What I wanted to say to you. First of all, I wanted to thank you for having me on your show,
Oh, you're
and
quite
also to
welcome.
thank you for help publicizing and putting the parade out there. Everyone's not on social media,
Mm,
and I just wanted to to thank you for that, because this is an avenue. A lot of people watch your show. You'd be surprised, more watch your show than you think.
mm,
And it's an avenue where the information can get out.
mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you for being on.
Yeah, I need to talk to you when we. I wanted to tell you some things when we off
Okay.
the air.
Okay. So we're about to go off now.
Okay.
Uh, so we can do that now. And yeah, thank everyone for joining in. And we'll probably do this again over the weekend. Okay. And I'll say until the next time, Doda Dog,